Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, here it is, another Wednesday, and on the 30th is our Vegan Thanksgiving. So mark it on your calendars. Don't forget, September 30th this year is Vegan Thanksgiving. And I'm really looking forward to Vegan Thanksgiving this year. I'm going to have all sorts of wonderful treats. And what are some of the things that we like to eat at Vegan Thanksgiving? Well, you can have a tofurkey, but tofurkey is kind of boring. It's kind of not interesting. So I like to make a vegan loaf every Vegan Thanksgiving. And this is also known as Goddess Worshippers Thanksgiving because it's for Goddess Worshippers only. Because there's the American Thanksgiving, and the American Thanksgiving is a Christian Thanksgiving. And also some Jews celebrate it too, but they celebrate the male god. That's the main point of American Thanksgiving, is to celebrate the male god. Whereas with Goddess Worshippers Thanksgiving, we celebrate Goddess, and we celebrate in a vegan way, so we're not eating turkeys. And in fact, American Thanksgiving is my Humane Day. So on Humane Day, we all eat humanely. You don't have to eat a fancy vegan loaf or anything like that for Humane Day. Just eat vegan and spread the word to your friends about the way turkeys are treated. So what are we having for Vegan Thanksgiving this year? Well, we're having Vegan Thanksgiving Loaf. And I have a recipe here I'm going to read to you. It's adapted from ilovevegan.com. ilovevegan.com. So check it out, you guys, if you want to see more of recipes for vegan people. Vegan Thanksgiving Loaf. This is an adapted recipe. I changed it a little because I made it last year and it was just a little bit dry and a little bit boring in its flavor. So I changed it up. I doubled the recipe so it would make more, and I added more spices and so on, and I increased the cooking time. So here it is: 3 tablespoons safflower oil. And safflower oil is the lowest in saturated fat of any oil, so that's a good oil to use. 1 onion, finely chopped. 6 cloves of garlic, minced. 3 medium carrots, grated. 2 ribs of celery, chopped. 3 cups of kale, finely shredded. 3 cups of mushrooms, sliced. Half a teaspoon of thyme. Half a teaspoon oregano. Half a teaspoon of salt, and I actually decreased the salt because I added tamari soy sauce, so that's another thing. 2 teaspoons black pepper. 2/3 of a cup uncooked brown rice, uncooked because I wanted to change the recipe so you'd be able to make it at home. 2/3 of a cup brown lentils, uncooked. 2/3 of a cup of flour. 6 tablespoons ground flaxseed. Half a cup of nutritional yeast, and I increased the nutritional yeast. 1/4 cup tamari soy sauce. 1 cup of walnuts chopped. Half a cup of dried cranberries. Half a teaspoon of rosemary leaves. 1 tablespoon chili powder. 1 can cranberry sauce for glaze, and 1/3 of a cup of water. So here's how I make it. Boil the brown rice and lentils together with 4 cups of water in a pot with a tightly fitting lid. Turn down heat and simmer 45 minutes. Drain out any excess water. Very important step to drain out the excess water. Meanwhile, prep the vegetables. Then saute onions until they caramelize. Add mushrooms, cook until brown. Add the rest of the vegetables and saute. Mix all ingredients except cranberry sauce and water in a big bowl and mash. Oil a loaf pan, dump in ingredients in bowl, and press down firmly. Bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Remove from oven, pour glaze over the loaf, and bake another 15 minutes. To make the glaze, in a saucepan, heat cranberry sauce and water. Stir until cranberry sauce is completely melted and begins to bubble. Pour over loaf. Makes 8 servings. Served with mashed potatoes and mushroom gravy. And I also have a recipe for mushroom gravy here that I'm going to share with you. Mashed potatoes are easy. You just mash them up, and first you drain the water off the potatoes. You boil them. You drain the water off the potatoes. You add a little bit of almond milk or soy milk, and you mash it up so that it's a mashed consistency. So mashed potatoes are easy, but I'm going to read you this recipe for mushroom gravy from the Book of Veganish. And this is another great book to check out from your library or wherever. The Book of Veganish. 2 tablespoons safflower oil. 2 cups chopped mushrooms. 1 teaspoon onion powder. 1 cup all-purpose flour. 6 tablespoons nutritional yeast. 4 cups plain unsweetened almond milk. 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup tamari soy sauce. Salt and black pepper to taste. Makes 5 cups. Heat the oil. Add mushrooms, saute until nicely browned. Sprinkle on flour and nutritional yeast. Then add almond milk slowly, a little at a time, stirring constantly so there are no lumps, over medium heat. Add tamari. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Stir well. Serve hot. And I'm keeping it simple this year because I have many activities going on as well at the same time as my vegan Thanksgiving. So I want to speed things along, and I'm going to make the meal as simple as possible this year so that I can make it and do these other things as well. And what would be vegan Thanksgiving without pumpkin pie? But you don't have to put eggs in it. Eggs aren't required or necessary for pumpkin pie. So this year I'm making a crustless pumpkin pie. And the reason I'm making crustless pumpkin pie is because my mom hates crust. And I always put so much effort into it, and she never eats the crust. So this year I'm making crustless pumpkin pie, and I have a recipe here for vegan crustless pumpkin pie that I would like to read to you. 2 3/4 cup pumpkin puree, or 1 1/2 15-ounce cans. 1/4 cup maple syrup. 1/4 cup of brown sugar. 1/3 cup unsweetened plain almond milk. 1 tablespoon melted coconut oil. 2 1/2 tablespoons of cornstarch. 1 3/4 teaspoons pumpkin pie spice, or cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves. And 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Add all ingredients to a blender. Blend until smooth. But you don't have to do this. You can also mix it in a bowl. It should be all right if you mix it in a bowl, as long as you mix it very well. Pour into pie dish. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 58 to 65 minutes. Let cool, then transfer to a refrigerator and let set up 4 to 6 hours or overnight. Serve with coconut whipped cream. And I have a recipe here for coconut whipped cream. I actually do. You can have whipped cream on your vegan Thanksgiving. 1 can coconut cream, refrigerated, and 3/4 cup powdered sugar. Open can of coconut cream and scrape out the thickened cream on top. It's very important that you refrigerate this first. Reserve liquid for smoothies. Add the 3/4 cup of powdered sugar and whip until soft peaks form. Refrigerate until ready to use. So there you have it. You have recipes for vegan Thanksgiving, and you're going to enjoy it. I promise you. This year, eat vegan for the animals, and if you don't do it for the animals, do it for the environment. And if you don't do it for the environment, do it for yourself, because animal foods are really bad for you. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf signing off. Remember, September 30th. Have a great vegan Thanksgiving, everybody.